Hello everybody, I am Agna Langle, and we are finally back with Grade A's Attorney. There will be a few episodes posted before this, but this is my first time recording Grade A's Attorney in a couple of months. So this is huge. I do remember where we were though. We are right at the beginning of the trial, as it says, and we are about to meet two of my favorite witnesses. I'm so excited to voice them. I'm so ready. Okay. When I woke the following morning, Susato's-san was already gone. Oh yeah, she's gone. Sucks to suck. Outside the window, the rain came down in sheets. And so began an even longer day than the last. One that I would remember for the rest of my days. That might be a little much, I feel. But, okay. Oh yeah, we're alone this time. Ooh, sucks. Also, that is loud. Okay, is that better? I don't want to make it too quiet. I've ran into that problem several times. Hey, whatever. 17th of April. That's 11 days before now. And it's a few hours off, though. It's 1 when I'm recording this. It is 1:07. But that's okay. Gina! Good morning, Gina. Yeah. I'm determined to prove your innocence today. I'm sure we can do it. Bum, 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 bum. Sorry, I love the music. Okay. So where's your friend then? Sorry? No, in the fancy dress. Susato, however you say it. I don't know. Miss Susato had to leave early this morning. She was already gone by the time I woke up. You alright with that, are you? Get about me if you like. Go and see her off. It's fine. I only knew her for like 6 months anyway. It's not as though Miss Susato and I won't meet again one day. I mean, I know where she lives because I knew where Kazuma lived. Okay. Even so. But you, Gina, you only get one chance. This trial today is all we have. Good morning, you two. That's gonna be my voice. Oh, she's got the kitty! How are you feeling, Jenny? Did you manage to sleep? Ah! Every time I see her, my heart just goes ooh, you know? You feel me? Oh. Iris, what are you doing here? What do you mean? When a friend is in need, we show our support. My voice is not ready for this today. I don't know what's wrong with it. It was fine earlier. Isn't that right, Waggy? Meow. Oh, uh-oh. Ah, Waggy! Great way to show your support, kitty. So true. That mother knows around. What harm can it do? Oh, that reminds me. I brought a paper on the way here. Now, would you like the good news or the bad news? Also, she doesn't know that Sholmes is awake yet, does she? So, she's just... Oh, this poor child. She doesn't know. And she's still fine? She is faking. This poor... Give her a hug. She needs it. What do you say, Runo? Ginny? Oh, well, I think I'd rather get the bad news out of the way first. I'm with you on that one. Nah, always take the good news first. You might not live to hear the bad. Grief. Yes, that question always gives away people's personalities. Are you a psychiatrist now, too? Let's not go there. Alright then, I'll give you the bad news first. I gotta stop. Her theme song's so good. I can't help myself. Record amount of rain has fallen this morning. How did they... That was printed really fast. Carriages all over the capital are struggling to move. Huh? It's raining? I can't tell. That window, it looks pretty bright out there. The bad news was a weather report? So I hope that Susie made a train to Dover and that the train isn't delayed on its way to the port. Oh, yeah, that would be unfortunate. Gosh, yes. Alright then, so what's the good news? Well,
The rain is forecast to subside this afternoon. So even if the train is delayed, it should be able to make up the time later. Well, that is good news, isn't it?
I couldn't give a monkey's, really. If only all good news cancelled out the bad. I don't think it cancels. Like, there's still gonna be flooding in areas, probably.
And look, this trial's made the headlines too.
Of course it did.
Pawnbroker perishes in pick-post plunder. See?
Do you like that? Well, let them say what they want. See if I care. Oh, Gina. I can't because you're covering your face. That's by design. Iris can, though. She's too short. Or she's short enough, I guess.
Don't worry. Bruno will soon show everyone that this headline's nonsense.
I will?
And then, in tomorrow's papers, the headlines will be Discharged divers dauntless do-gooder. Isn't that right, Bruno?
Oh, yes. Let's hope so.
Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you.
What evidence do we have? Almost nothing. Great. Even for listing his name, they put a lord in front of it. I would think that they wouldn't there. Like, that's not part of his name, that's a title. It's like Mr., right? That's how that's used, because you don't say Mr. Lord, you just say Lord. So, like, whatever. It's fine. Okay.
How was that? I was trying to sound like Susie. Did it work? Did it?
Okay, hold on. We gotta go back then.
Of course they will. I have absolute faith in you.
I don't know if that was an attempt of trying to make Iris sound like Susie or not. It's like she was still here. Is that sarcasm or not? Aw, bring back your cool music. Why'd you cut it off?
Good luck then, Bruno. I'll do what I can.
Huh?
Obviously, I don't know the law like Susie does. I don't have a book of infinite knowledge up my sleeve, but still. I've got this gun. I'll be by your side the whole time, giving you moral support and encouragement by pointing this gun at the prosecutor.
I'm not sure that big thing is as comforting as you think it is, to be honest, but thank you, Iris. It's very kind of you. Oh yeah, Iris.
Yes, Jenny?
Well, I was wondering, Zol, about Sholmes. They fix him up alright?
I don't know. Yes, the operation was a great success, but Early still hadn't come around yet. Susie didn't bother to come back and tell us that he was alive.
Awake. Whatever. It's been like 24 hours. Oh my gosh.
I've asked a friend of mine at Scotland Yard to send a telegram as soon as he wakes up, and guess what he hasn't done?
I'm sure Gregson will let us know the moment there's news. Oh. Right. No Zieks, and no Mr. Sholmes. It's all down to me today to prove that Gina's innocent of this crime. I can't do it by myself. Miss Gina Lestrade, counsel for the defense. The trial's about to begin. Please make your way into the courtroom. That was the voice I did for the bailiff, right?
It's time then.
Yes, let's go, Gina, Iris.
Lead the way, Bruno.
But I'm scared. I don't want to go first. You first. I just like making him a coward. I'm sorry. Poor Gina. She's trying to put on a brave face, but I can tell she's worried and scared. I have to believe in her from start to finish. That's the weapon that will secure our victory here. I believe in you, Bruno. Oh, don't show him. If I learned anything from my great friend, it's that. We don't even get to look at his face anymore. That's evil. That is a crime. I want to see him. He's hot. I miss him. Okay, we started right on the dot. Look at us. We're punctual. Wait. I had a thought.
Okay, so somehow Van Zieks gets all of these chalices and stuff into the courthouse, right? I like to think he has like a cart that he wheels, and he's got all the glasses sitting on top of it. Because of the rain, they all fill up with water, and he has to stand there and dump them out individually, like underneath an awning or something. That's a really funny thought. That's very funny, and I love it. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. Is that what he sounded like? This trial shall determine the guilt or innocence of Miss Gina Lestrade. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. Hi, Van Zieks. Man, his eyes are glowing today. I haven't looked at him on my big TV screen in a while, and the TV screen has, like, extra colors, if that makes sense. It's more vibrant. It makes his eyes look more vibrant, which I'm not complaining. But, just a note. Okay. The prosecution is ready. Woo! Defense is ready. Uh-huh. You look like it. Lord Van Zieks. My lord. Remind me, how many years ago was it that you withdrew from the public prosecution service? Why? It was some 5 years ago, my lord. What were you doing during that time? I was doing ballet. I don't know why I'm so dead set on him being a ballerina, but I just love the concept. Yes, and then 2 months ago you resurfaced somewhat unexpectedly, and here you are again today. Are there some circumstances of which the court should be aware that have led to this erratic behavior? Yes, I'm racist. Okay, proceed. And what might one describe as your former life 5 years past? Former life? You dealt exclusively in matters concerned with the highest echelons of society and government. Really? Makes sense. Yet today you choose to try a simple case of burglary and murder. I confess I find it more than a little befuddling, counsel. There are 2 types of person I cannot abide. The judge. Firstly, those wealthy scoundrels who hide behind a mask of philanthropy to cheat the public at large. Okay, based. He means Mr. McGilded, who you defended against the Raper 2 months ago. Yep, I just about managed to work that out, thank you. Magnus McGilded. If I'd known what a monster he was, I never would have defended him. Sucks. And secondly, even more loathsome, those wily scoundrels who masquerade as allies only to effect total betrayal in the final hour. In other words, the confidence tricksters from those tiny islands in the Far East, the Nipponese. And Zieks, go home. Take your racist ass and go home. What? Did he really just say that? Did he He starts rolling up his sleeves. Hold my armband, Iris. I'm gonna get him. He draws karma and he doesn't know how to use it. He means you now, Bruno. Oh, bless her. I actually managed to work that out too. Thank you, Iris. She's so happy about it. Total betrayal? What are you talking about? That torrid look of hatred in Lord Van Zieks' eyes. His eyes were closed. What are you on about? Was that directed solely at me, or was he talking about all Japanese people? Did you read what he said? He said the Nipponese. He is talking about all Japanese people. Or else he would have said Ryunosuke Naruhodo, the guy who has betrayed me somehow, apparently. An alarmingly scathing explanation, Lord Van Zieks. That was not an I mean, it was. He just said, I'm racist, Your Honor. And he just said, damn, go off, sis. And then he said, thank you. And then that was the end of the exchange. God.
Still, the judiciary welcomes the return of the so-called Reaper of the Bailey, feared by all London's malefactors.
I love that they just call him the Reaper of the Bailey, like, in front of God and everyone. Your lordship is too kind. Uh-huh.
Now, jurors, the 6 of you have been selected at random to represent the will of the people in this trial. Totally at random. There are not any people that have been here before.
Also, does that guy on the end look familiar? Well, both guys on the end, actually. Both of them look familiar.
Are you ready to hear the evidence placed before you and determine the guilt or innocence of the defendant?
What did he sound like? Oh my god, what?
I'm a former lieutenant in the British Army, don't you know? Japs like me were born ready.
Something like that, right? If his voice completely changed, I'm so sorry. Just sucks. Clean crockery, clean cutlery, and a clean conscience. His lordship's motto is very appropriate here, I think. Okay. Everything will be stereoscopic in the future! Absolutely, absolutely everything! And I'm ready for it. This guy's just nuts. He's off his rocker. Okay, this is Santa, right? This is the judge.
I don't understand it. I can't have left it in there. It's not possible. But could I have?
Uh-oh, that doesn't sound good. Women indispensable in society. Stop. Female-centric future awaits. Stop. Real. Real. She's a girl boss. We love her. Oh god. The mouse moving his head with the pages. Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. I hope my Russian accent's gotten a little bit better. God, it was awful. I, like, rewatched some of those with Mr. Strokanoff, and I hated it. Okay, something wrong, Runa. Well, there's a terrorist on the stand. Oh, not exactly. It's just every single one of these people, except that guy, I've seen before. I'm fairly sure I recognize these jurors. Almost all of them, in fact. I like that the mouse is reading, too. I know I already said it, but it's so cute. Really? Funny coincidences like that do happen from time to time, don't they? Every trial? But it is quite strange. I don't know why I thought it was Runo again. Jurors are chosen at random from London's 6 million inhabitants, you know? So I've been led to believe, but something tells me I'm being duped.
Very well. Now, Lord Van Zieks, the court calls upon the prosecution to introduce the facts of the case.
As you wish, my lord. Allow me to begin with a word of warning to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. In short, hey, that's me. There has never been a more self-evident case of cold-blooded murder. I bet there has. The victim, Mr. Pop Windybank, proprietor of a pawn shop on Baker Street, was shot from behind and died instantly. The prosecution presents this photographic print of the crime scene. There he is. Hi, Mr. Windybank. As the court will observe, there's a single bullet wound just below the gentleman's left shoulder. The evidence suggests that the bullet pierced the man's heart, resulting in near-instant death. Near instant. Moving on to the findings of Scotland Yard's coroner. His report states that the bullet entered the body on a rising diagonal trajectory. And what's that supposed to tell us? That whoever shot was at a lower angle? Whether that means they were shorter, or that they were, like, kneeling or laying? Like a sniper, maybe? Well, no, because a sniper's up above, so it would be a falling diagonal trajectory.
Whatever. Forensics brain's going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It means the victim was likely shot by someone significantly shorter in height than himself. That's a stretch. You cannot say that. Someone like the accused, you might say. Okay, that is the most indirect evidence ever, but go off. Oh. The prosecution wishes to present the autopsy report and crime scene photograph as evidence, my lord.
Indeed, the court accepts. Hand them to the bailiff, please.
Woo! We got an autopsy. And a photograph we're gonna have to look at. I now ask the court to turn its attention to this plan of the establishment where the incident occurred. Man, detailed plan you've got there. Okay. We were taught how to sketch crime scenes, and you have to measure everything. And those bodies are not proportional to that building. There was so much room behind both of them. The proprietor was found in the storeroom where he kept articles pawned to him. A windowless room with a single point of entry, a door to the main shop that was found locked. In this sealed chamber, there were only 2 persons present, and there was no kind of flap or window in the door that could have allowed someone to shoot into the room without being in the room. That's preposterous. The victim, Mr. Windybank, and the accused. It may further interest the court to know that when the accused was discovered at the scene, she had in her hand the gun used to fire the fatal bullet. It's not looking good for you, Gina. Well, that's that then, isn't it? Nothing more to say. Isn't that grubby little girl a pickpocket? She's one of them filthy drabs that lives in the slums. Oh well, it was only a matter of time before she got blood on her hands. What are the jurors waiting for? Girl's guilty as hell. We can't jump to conclusions here. We mustn't assume a guilt because of what she has to do to survive. Based. Shut up. Poor people are guilty of everything. My learned Nipponese friend, it is you who mustn't jump to conclusions. Did you know that it's innocent until proven guilty and not the other way around? The prosecution has barely begun presenting its case. Whoa, where did that organ come from? Conveniently, this appalling act of murder did not go unobserved. There were witnesses.
Good gracious!
After their testimony, this girl's true nature will be exposed. Pitiful pick-purse or cold-hearted killer. Here's to establishing the truth. You don't get a drink to toast with, though. Only I do. Also, it's full of rainwater as well. It's gonna be watered down. His theme slaps so hard. Okay.
The court will take the floor pad and firearm into evidence. Hand them to the bailiff, please, Lord Van Zieks.
No. He will come over and get them. At once, my lord. Whatever. Okay. Sick. Windybank's revolver. There are signs of a single discharge? Wouldn't that just mean that only one bullet is missing? And like there's... Did they know about gunshot residue? Did they? Hold on, when did that become a thing? I'm Googling. 1984. Literally 1984. Okay, sorry. This isn't good. No shit.
I feel like the mood in here has turned very gloomy all of a sudden, Runo.
Me too. I think that's because it has. Also, can we get you a little stool to stand on? Oh, okay. Let us begin! Okay, dude. It's gonna be okay. Bring forth the witnesses to the foul murder of Mr. Pop Windybank on 16th April of this year. Yeah, that's right. They do the trial the day after. That's bonkers, by the way. But I'm sure I've already ranted about it. Those are my favorites. Right there. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court. Yes. Okay. Every time I've played, I have done the little guy's voice. I've not done his voice. But I know what I want to do. Just will my vocal cords cooperate? Name's Nash Skulkin. Occupation is, Betty. Professional Betty.
My name's Ringo Skulkin.
I love him.
Occupation's, same as him.
Oh, I love Ringo. My name's Gregson. Scotland Yard Inspector.
Hi.
That's right. Oh, I didn't mute my computer. What they call? The three skulking brothers.
The three skulking brothers.
There you go. You can figure that out. And that never gets old. Why are you looking at me like that for? Don't lump me in with you lot. Bless. Blimey, that's cold. And core blimey, that's cold. I forgot your voice. Don't you know what we're going through?
It's older bruv. Lost contact with him we have, so you have to be older bruv. So we're scaring every shady corner of the capital.
Then last night we came across you. Very spit of the bloke. Ain't that right, Ringo?
Yes, now she is. The very spit of him.
So we decided there and then what we was gonna do. We was gonna call you
Big Bruv Soaky.
Come on, leave it out, you two. Sulky Skulkin. And that's before he's run out of chips. Yeah. Well then, Inspector Sulky Cricks. Begging your pardon, my lord, but the name's Tobias. What I would like to know, Inspector Sulky, is what you are doing in the witness stand. The Skulkin brothers are currently under arrest, my lord, on suspicion of theft. Huh. Thieves, are they, these three? Just the two. No, my lord, begging your pardon, but please don't lump me in with this lot. 2 nights ago, these two brothers illegally entered 2 buildings. Oh, well, he kind of does it. 2 nights ago, these 2 brothers illegally entered an establishment with intent to burgle. And in the course of their nefarious activities, they became embroiled in a far more sinister crime. By Jove! You mean to say? Great balls of fire! What an extraordinary coincidence! It's almost like it might not be a coincidence. Just saying. Indeed, my lord. While attempting to burglarize the pawnbrokery, they witnessed its proprietor's murder. Oh, he's on a little crate. Oh, bless him. Order! Order! The various trespasses of these brothers is not the subject of today's proceedings, though they will naturally face trial in the very near future.
With your lordship's permission, I'd like to remain in the stand to keep these gents on the straight and narrow. Of course, Inspector. Skeptical as I am about the caliber of these witnesses, I will permit them to take the stand. His voice is so hard to maintain, dude. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin. like, what? Just say, Mr. Skulkins or so. It feels weird, you know? How is that the correct way to announce two people who have the same last name or the same gender? Mr. and Mr. Like, if you're a gay couple, are you just Mr. and Mr. Insert last name here? I don't know. I've never thought about it. Okay, whatever. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you will now testify before the court. Describe the events of the night in question and what exactly you saw. Who said that?
Happy to! 'Cause a skulkin's never skulkin'!
Sorry, I'm just gonna default to Ringo because I like him more. Get out of it! Get out of what? They're not in anything. Oh bless, here we go, here we go. It's time. We was walking down Baker Street in the small hours and the gaff's door was ajar, see?
I was like, how did it turn into a jar? It was a door!
I'm so sorry. That was the worst joke I've ever made. I apologize.
It was like some kind of sign, begging for us to go in, it was.
Once we got inside, God blimey Loomy, we heard a gunshot from the back room.
We went to see what was what, but the door was locked from the inside.
We never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We never done nothing, Governor. We never took nothing. We just left after that nice and quiet. He's almost the judge. I've got to differentiate him from the judge and from the surgeon in the stand. Or the doctor, excuse me. He might not be a surgeon. But yeah, I've got to differentiate him. A terrible coincidence it would seem. At the precise moment these miscreants entered the property, an even more sinister crime was afoot. The witness's testimony is consistent with the crime scene in every detail. It's also vague. Just saying. Also, it's not, because you're missing the window. The door providing access to the storeroom from the main shop was indeed locked from the inside. And within, only the victim and the accused were found. Another locked room mystery. I must say, it does appear to be an overwhelmingly simple case. Still, the defense may cross-examine the witnesses now, of course. Counsel, if you please. I don't want to. Counsel? Yes.
What's the matter, Bruno?
Sorry, I was just stunned into silence for a minute by the blatant lies told by that pair on the stand. Get it? Because one of them has a pair. I know that it's all nonsense, because I saw it with my own eyes. You didn't see the shooting. Just have to expose the testimony for the pack of lies it is. Okay, we're gonna press everything, just because I love them and I miss them and I need more of them. The front door of Winterbanks was ajar, you say? How did it turn into a jar? What time of night was this? Were you are you sure you weren't sleepwalking? Must have been around 1, right, Ringo?
Yeah, I'd say so! Right, Sulky?
How would I know? Place would have been shut at 1 in the morning, just like every other shop in town. Well, it was pitch black inside, that's true. Ain't that right, Ringo?
Not so sure, Nosh. Seemed remember a little light burning inside. What about you, Sulky, me old mucker?
Leave me alone. I don't think I've ever pressed that before. There
But there definitely was a small lamp burning inside. That's what alerted us to the situation in the first place.
Well, what alerted Mr. Sholmes? You were going honk shoo me 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 me. You weren't paying attention. And when these gentlemen ventured into the open establishment, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade, already had the muzzle of her gun trained on the unfortunate victim.
Objection!
She doesn't have a gun. That is pure conjecture. Okay, based objection. Ha, perhaps. But it changes nothing. It's I'm losing my mind. What are you trying to suggest? That you had to go in? Well, God moves in mysterious ways, I say, don't they, Ringo?
I do, Nash, I do! Must have been some sort of providence, I reckon.
God's will often presents itself as the whim of thieves, does it? Don't just find doors open in the middle of the night like that. No, there's no two ways about it. What's that supposed to mean?
It's a sign that our long-lost brother was inside.
Oh wow, what a load of hoo-ha.
They're not very good liars, are they?
No, they're not.
Well, you can't deny it. His voice is higher than hers. Led us to a bloke what looks just like our bruv.
He was there? I said, cut it out. Those chips are getting a chomping today. That's so true, Ryunosuke. If my learned friend is having difficulty grasping the situation, perhaps a drawing would help. It's a little drawing of like... It's a drawing of him beating up Ryunosuke. Just beating the shit out of him and the gallery is clapping. And it's like stick figures too. He's like, I drew it myself. And Ryunosuke's like, this has literally nothing to do with the case.
Hold it!
You didn't do or take anything. Is that your story?
It was bedlam soon as, wasn't it? Wasn't it? I forget your voice. You sound something like this, right? Okay.
It was, Nash, it was. Didn't you have time to pull me dukes out me Lucy locket?
Oh, I love Cockney. So, with no time to take your dukes out of your Lucy lockets, you just left nice and quietly, you say? That's right, governor. Nothing we hate more than violence. Peace-loving nibblers we are, not bludgers.
We are, Nash, we are. Never even pulled me dukes out me Lucy lockets.
So, you'd clearly like us to believe. Come again? As you fled from the pawnbrokers that night, did you not run into anyone else? And did you not fire a gun at that person? Zieks I've! They fired a gun, you say? Oh! Blimey, governor!
You ain't telling us it was you in that doorway?
Well, one of us, yes. Why the
bleeding Nora?
Didn't you mention that before? You were armed with a gun. And as you fled the scene, you fired that gun. At London's greatest detective, Sherlock Sholmes. They shot the great Sholmes. I did hear that, actually. There was a rumor he'd been rushed to the hospital. Great Sholmes, that's beyond the pale. I forget what southern accents sound like, which is funny because I live in the South. On the night in question, this pair were arrested by the police within minutes of the discovery of the crime scene. Their suspicious countenance rapidly gave them away. And when searched, a firearm was indeed found in their possession, and I kept this fact from you for some bullshit reason. Furthermore, the barrel shows signs of a shot having been fired from it.
It looks like he's pointing the gun at us. The prosecution invites his lordship to examine the firearm recovered from these brothers. Isn't that, like, the police's job?
Yes, indeed. Remnants of powder around the muzzle, as you say, Counsel.
What? What was my source that it came from 1984? The first method for determining whether or not someone had fired a gun by gunshot residue was the paraffin test, also known as the dermal nitrate or diphenylamine test. Teodoro Gonzalez of the Criminal Identification Laboratory in Mexico City first applied this test in the United States in 1933. So 1984 was a lie. Listen, the joke's already been made. It's staying.
But, okay, so it's only the powder that they could see with the naked eye. They couldn't test for gunshot residue yet. They're about 30 years off of that.
The court will hold this weapon as evidence.
Skulking Brothers' gun has been entered. It's the court record. Oh, great. We gotta have a drink. Is that the first drink of the day? I don't think so. Okay. Now, my learned Nipponese friend. Yes? Here's to you successfully presenting the evidence. What evidence? What? For yes, there are telltale signs of spent powder on this gun, and a single bullet missing from the cylinder. But the prosecution demands evidence that it was fired at the scene of the crime under scrutiny in this trial. Bruh. Well, I don't need evidence, because I was there! It's almost like it might be a conflict of interest that I'm even the defense in this trial. However, the rest of us in this courtroom were not. If the defense fails to provide evidence in support of its rash claim, we shall have no choice but to toast to your incompetence and move on. Evidence that these two fired a gun before they left Windybanks that night. That's easy peasy lemon squeezy.
The court demands that all claims are affirmed with clear proof. What evidence shows that these witnesses unloaded a firearm in the pawnbroker's shop that night?
It's the portfolio, right? Because there's a gun there. I'm going for it. If we lose a point, we lose a point. The evidence is in this portfolio.
What on earth have you there, Counsel?
During the course of our investigations, we discovered a number of bloodstains. Not trusting the police to do the job they're trained to do. How arrogantly Nipponese of you. Well, anyway, we analyzed all the blood samples we found and recorded the results in this portfolio.
And you claim to have the evidence the court is demanding therein?
Yes, my lord.
No more dallying then, Counsel. Present the pertinent evidence at once. What do you have in your portfolio that proves these witnesses unloaded a firearm at the scene? What is that? Explain!
Why is he so upset today? Oh my gosh. It's a photographic print taken at Windybank's pawnbrokery on the day of the incident.
From the scene of the crime, is it?
Yep, that. Good job, Judgy. Here's a golden star.
Is that a bullet hole? And if my eyes do not deceive me, it appears the bullet is still lodged there.
Good job. Yes, as your lordship noticed, the bullet pierced Mr. Windybank's calendar. The date shown being the 16th of April, the very day of the pawnbroker's death.
The incident occurred at 1 hour after midnight, but this indicates that a separate shot had been fired sometime after the calendar had been set to the 16th.
Gosh, I'm struggling with his voice. That's right, and while it isn't irrefutable, the defense believes that this credible evidence, this is credible evidence that the witnesses did fire a round from their gun at the pawnbrokers that night.
No, I don't remember me voice. Order! How does the prosecution stand, Lord Van Zieks?
On my legs, Your Honor.
Okay, next question.
Is he gonna throw it? Oh, no, he's gonna put it up to his lips.
If that is the direction my learned friend wishes to take, the prosecution has no objection.
What?
Yep, there he goes. But you'll forgive me for flinging my hallowed chalice aside in disgust at the repugnancy it exposes.
What are you on about?
Yes, on the night in question, these brothers entered the pawnbrokery illegally. And like the bold baddies they claim to be, opened fire on the new arrivals before fleeing back onto the street. Take it easy there, Governor, you gonna land us in the soup.
I like soup. We had a deal! You weren't gonna get into them details! He was making deals. That's always good. Tell him, Soaky, set the bloke straight!
I have nothing to add.
So he knew, did he? Van Zieks knew their testimony would almost certainly expose the extent of their crimes.
It would seem now that I owe my learned Nibonese friend a word of gratitude.
What do you mean?
What I mean is that you have helpfully confirmed an important fact. To what fact do you refer, Lord Van Zieks? As has been established, at the point of their arrest, a single shot had been fired from the brothers' gun. However, if that shot found its target in Mr. Sholmes, then clearly these witnesses cannot be accused of the fatal shooting of the proprietor and victim.
Ah! What if Gina's the one that shot the wall? Like, you can't prove it.
In other words, these two men have no material connection to the murder of Mr. Windybank at all.
So that's it.
Oh, they're so cringe fail. Oh, I love them so much. I love them so much. That's it. We didn't have nothing to do with it.
We didn't, Ash, we didn't. It's what I reckon.
Your crimes include unlawful entry and intent to steal, perjury, and, let us not forget, attempted murder.
And aggravated battery. I wouldn't consider it aggravated assault because there was no threat of injury. It was too dark, we couldn't see the shooter. So he couldn't see that he was being threatened, he was just shot. So, aggravated battery.
What a catalog, eh, fellas?
We're in for it now, bruv.
Now then, let us take a moment to consider the aforementioned great detective, Mr. Sherlock Sholmes. It would seem the man patronized the pawnbrokers in question somewhat regularly. At 1 o'clock in the morning.
Where's he going with this?
Mr. Sholmes appears to take pleasure in tinkering with eccentric machinery.
Eccentric? Says who?
Bless her.
Not me, don't give me that look. Well, I can't see over the bench.
He installed a pair of machines like this one in the victim's shop.
Oh, that's one of Early's red-handed recorders.
What is that, Counsel? It has the appearance of a photographic contraption. As your lordship has surmised, it is indeed a camera attached to a small timing device.
Every half an hour, it automatically photographs the interior of the establishment. The idea being that if a thief were to break into the shop, he would be caught red-handed.
The prosecution has obtained the photographs taken by the device on the night in question. What a stack. Yeah, 8 p.m. 8:30. Uh-huh. As the court will observe, the copious identical prints are produced in quite desultory fashion. Rather prodigal, I feel. Prodigal? Prodigal? I don't know. In fact, there are 2 such devices in the victim's shop, my lord. If I may refer the court to the plan of the premises, their respective positions are here and here. You say these cameras produce a print every half hour. I'm afraid I fail to see how that would help if the anticipated thief conducted his activity in one of the many 30-minute intervals. One can only pray that the would-be criminal lingers, my lord. On the night in question, the witnesses currently in the stand were not caught on camera. It's a bit of fraud tuck, eh, bruv?
Lady Luck loves a skulking.
Witnesses, at what time did your trespassing begin? Must have been just after 1, right, bruv?
Must have been, Nash, must have been. Yeah, just gone 1.
In which case, minutes before these brothers entered the establishment. What scene might we expect to see within the shop? Let us examine the evidence. Well, shit. Good lord! Here's the defendant! Miss Gina Lestrade! Ruh-roh, Raggy. As the court can clearly see, the accused is pictured, gun in hand, facing the victim over the shop counter. No doubt coercing the proprietor to open the door to his storeroom by not pointing the gun at him, although she has terrible trigger discipline. Quite! One can only too easily imagine the events that unfolded. The court will take this photographic print as evidence, if you please, counsel. Can I have a sidebar with my client?
I don't believe it. Ginny.
In short, hey, that's me. The accused is the only person who could possibly have killed Mr. Windybank.
Ah!
I say, my lord. Oh, it's summation time, isn't it? Wait, is he blushing and looking at the maid? I might have given him I gave him too much credit. I gave him too much credit. No! What if I might put in a word at this point? Go ahead, Mr. Foreman. Took a bally bullet to the knee in the Battle of Maiwand 1880, don't you know? Decorated for it and all, but forced to retire from service, sadly. What do you sound like? I don't know. All my old men sound the same. Cause a medal can never outshine the exploits of chaps like us on the battlefield. Yes, Mr. Foreman, and get to the point. Carried on on the battle after retirement, you see, the battle of daily life, if you like. And here I am now leading this small squadron. 6 men. Yep, they're all men, and all good and true. And we'll all go down together, you mark my words. 1 for 1 and all for 1. 1 for 1 and all for 1? Is that what I said? I did say that. Hold on, what did he say? 1 for all and all. I said 1 for 1 and all for 1. We're sticking to that. Okay. The ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached an agreement. Have they? Is that what we are to understand? Well, Mr. Foreman, is that correct? In a manner of speaking, yes, this is the Garrett Squadron's position, sir. What? No, it's too soon to make a judgment. Daddy's report for the court. Men on the double. His lordship insists on promptitude at all times, and that goes for making decisions, too.
I think you'll find the truth as clear as day by now. I could reach out and touch it.
I wouldn't have left it in there. I just wouldn't. But in all honesty, I can't actually remember.
Situation clear, stop. No room for doubt, stop. Truth now undeniable, stop.
I am very sorry for brothers. They are unlucky. I feel sorry for the brothers too. Even though they literally shot my favorite character, they're just so funny. I just love them. I never thought I would love them, but God, I love them. Okay. Very well. I now call upon each member of the jury to state his or her leaning in this matter. Announce your considered verdicts to the court.
Guilty.
Yep.
Guilty.
Shocker.
Guilty.
He does not sound like that. Guilty. Oh, watch him, by the way. Watch the doctor. Oh, you love to see it. You love to see it, don't you? It does indeed appear that the jury is unanimous in its leaning already. That photograph must be the definitive evidence that Gregson mentioned.
But Jenny didn't shoot him.
No, of course not. My lord, the defense wishes to assert— I know! To assert its right to a summation examination. Figures. Very well. The court grants permission. So, you refuse to admit defeat again. Isn't that the whole reason why you're here? Because you refuse to admit defeat? How unsurprising. We shall proceed immediately with the summation examination. Mr. Foreman, are all of the members of the jury ready? Absolutely, sir. Always ready for action, my chaps. I don't know what he sounds like. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. Okay, that's a good stop-in spot. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support me, you can hit a like and a subscribe. I would really appreciate that because I love making videos and I want to make more videos. It would be very helpful for me. But thank you again for watching and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.